All right, this article on Realtor.com tells me I need a buyer's agent to get a house. I don't think so. I don't need a buyer's agent. I've been reading all the articles on Realtor.com and Zillow and Redfin. I've been doing all the research on the neighborhoods I want to have a house in and all the price ranges and all those things. Trust me, I can do this by myself. I don't need a buyer's agent.
What?
Okay, according to Stefan, maybe I need to rethink that. Maybe I do need a buyer's agent. Let's find out about that today. Let's go ahead and get started right now.
Hi, my name's Stefan.
And I'm Leslie.
As local real estate agents here in Virginia's beautiful mountains and valleys, we'd love to help folks who are selling their home, or as we're going to talk about today, purchasing a home. And if you're one of those people, all of our information is in the description below. We'd be happy to help you as well. And we're so thankful for all of those of you who have called us to help you purchase a home or to sell a home. Additionally, if you like learning more about the real estate information here in our mountains and valleys and a lot about just the area and a lot of the fun things that go on here, we'd love it if you click that subscribe button, touch that bell icon so you won't miss out on an episode of Virginia Mountain and Valley Living. And yes, it helps us, but it also helps other people like yourself who want to know more about the area. Now, in today's video, Leslie mentioned about people thinking that maybe a buyer's agent wasn't an important thing. And I can tell you this, that there are people that think that way, but they are the very much of a minority in that area. I mean, very small portion of the people that actually don't want the help of a buyer's agent. So what I want to do today is I just want to ask Leslie a few questions, and then if she says it's, if we say it's so important, why is a buyer's agent having one so important? So question number one, Leslie, here we go. What are some of the reasons a person should have an agent represent them when they're buying a home?
Okay, let's go with number one, an advocate. You're going to want someone to protect you and to help you when you're buying a home. We're standing in front of the beautiful old Augusta County Courthouse, and let's imagine that you got a judgment against you and it's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So you hire a lawyer who's going to help you and to protect you through that process. Well, when you purchase a house, it's also hundreds and thousands of dollars, and you're going to want someone who knows what you may not know, someone who helps you understand how a courtroom works, how a real estate transaction works, someone who understands what questions to ask, and someone who makes sure that your needs are being addressed. More importantly, you want someone who's going to be there to help you win. So having that advocate is incredibly, incredibly important. I'm here to help you and to guide you and to provide that personalized guidance for you. I'm here to answer any of the questions that you may have. I'm also here to help you avoid any of the pitfalls that you may have when you buy a house. You may not see something that I've, after done this for several years, I understand and know what things to look for and to help you avoid. I also have your best interest in mind. I'm only working for you. I'm solely dedicated to you and all of your interests.
All right, Leslie, so one of the things you mentioned was being solely dedicated to those buyers. I've heard some people say that they can just go ahead and use a listing agent to represent them. And the matter of fact, they think sometimes they think maybe they'll save some money or it'll be a better deal. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
So let's go back to that courtroom situation, okay? So would you ask the opposing counsel for advice or to represent you in a court trial situation? Do you think they'd have your best interest in only working for you, or would they have their person that they're representing, they would have their best interest at heart? Well, same thing kind of goes for a real estate transaction. That listing agent was hired specifically by that seller to list and to sell their home. And if you come along as a buyer's agent, make a phone call to that listing agent and say, hey, I want you to represent me through this transaction. Well, first of all, in the state of Virginia, that's really up to the seller on whether they can do that or not. They may not have given that listing agent permission to represent you as a buyer. So what are you going to do in that situation? Let's go over the other situation that says they do say that they will be able to represent you as the buyer. So what does that mean? Well, that means that listing agent is now divided in their loyalty and in their obligation to you, as well as the the seller. So that can lead to some complications along the way. So is it a good idea to have a dual agency situation? Well, again, going back to that courtroom situation, would you want to go to the opposing counsel to represent you?
And it can be, I mean, you've done it in some circumstances, but it depends on the clients.
Very few.
A lot of it depends on the clients. All right, Leslie, so one of the things that we've mentioned here quite a few times is the price of a home. That's a pretty important thing when it comes to most buyers and buying a home. So what are some things that you do for buyers to help them in that area?
Well, let's talk about negotiation skills. It's a really good reason why people need me to help them as their buyer's agent. So one of our kids right now is actually in the market for a car. Let's imagine that you're in the market for a new car, and like him, you've chosen a place where do you want to buy your car. You've taken it for a test drive, you've kicked the tires, you've asked all the questions, and it's time to sit down with the negotiation process. So how confident are you when you sit down at a dealership that you know what's all going on? Or would it be nice to have someone there helping you negotiate all the prices along? Our kid has his dad to help him. So now a new car is only about tens of thousands of dollars, and a house is hundreds of thousands of dollars. So how more important would it be to have someone there advocating and negotiating for you as you go through purchasing a home? So you've chosen your home, you viewed it once or twice, and you've kicked the tires and you've asked that agent all the questions, and now we're sitting down to make an offer on that house that you just really love. So how confident are you, if you were to do it by yourself, how confident are you in all of the negotiations that you're going to have to do? Or would you like to have a buyer's agent there helping you negotiate the price of that house and to get you a really fair deal for the house? It's really important. So that's where I come in. I'm going to help you get the best price for that house. I'm also going to help you understand that sometimes the price that you're getting the house isn't always the most important. So
yeah, and so, you know, obviously there's other things that you bring to the table when it comes to negotiating in addition to the price of the house as well. So what are some of those things?
So especially in today's market, we may run into a multiple offer situation, or maybe we run into a seller who maybe the price isn't the most important thing to them. So I'm going to make a phone call to the listing agent, and I'm going to find out from that listing agent what's really important to this seller other than the price of the house. What are some things that we can negotiate and put into our contract and make a really good solid offer to that seller? So sometimes I get things like repairs. The seller isn't interested in doing any repairs, so don't even ask. Do your home inspection, but don't ask us for any repairs. So I can know that going forward in how we negotiate the price of the house. So that's one thing. Maybe another thing that's really important to that seller is they want to rent their house back from you for maybe 30 days. So let's negotiate the rent back price and include that into the contract. So there's other different ways and nuances that go into a contract that you may or may not know about that I can help you negotiate through.
Yeah, and those things don't always necessarily affect the price of the home, although they can, but many times they save you money. Obviously, I've seen Leslie many times. You get thousands of dollars in some cases for the buyers that they didn't think they would get otherwise, and it's just because she knew how to negotiate some things that maybe if you're not in real estate every day, you wouldn't have thought of.
Exactly.
All right, Leslie, so we've talked about the importance of having an advocate to help you along the way. We've talked about negotiation skills with first a price and other things. But let me ask you, if you had to leave everybody with one last thing, what would you tell them is another important thing to use you as a buyer's agent?
Well, as a home buyer, peace of mind. Definitely knowing that your most expensive purchase is in someone else's hands is really important. So let me give you an example. Last year, Stefan and I were able to take our first cruise ever. It was wonderful. We did a Mediterranean cruise, and the last 2 days of our event was in Athens, and we were so looking forward to seeing the Parthenon and to seeing the Acropolis. And we could have done it one of two ways. We could have gotten a headset and listened to it and bebopped around the whole thing, or we could have hired a guide to show us all the things that was going on up there and to point out some historical things that we wouldn't have gotten in those headsets. And she stopped along the way and said, okay, do you have any questions about this, or would you like, more in-depth things to go through? And it was an amazing experience. So, I mean, look, you could buy a house by yourself, or you could hire a guide, someone to help you through all of that. So what's most important to you? And I would hope that it's probably peace of mind to help guide you through that with the experience that we have, but most importantly with the understanding. Just like that guide, she was very experienced. She had done it hundreds of times. I've done this for many years, and
20.
I knew he was going to do it. So she's done that to her for many years as well. And so knowing that I've done this for a lot of years, I'm going to help guide you through that and help hopefully give you some peace of mind. So I'm going to also say one more thing. And some of you may not know, and I get these phone calls a lot, that Virginia is what we call a caveat emptor state. What does that mean? Woo, that's a big Latin word. So what that basically means is buyer beware. So we are a state that the seller doesn't have to disclose certain things to you. So for example, if there's a crack in the wall, a crack in the floor, a crack in the window, let's say the water gets in the basement sometimes, they don't have to necessarily disclose all those things to you. So you as a buyer are looking around in the basement and may not see some of the things that I can notice, that a basement may have gotten wet or it may still get wet. So that's just really an important thing when you're buying a house, to have someone who's got that knowledge, that understanding, giving you that peace of mind.
So basically you're saying it's an experience thing, right? But let me ask you this. That experience, I mean, is there anything else in addition to that?
Absolutely. Communication is huge. So I am going to not only communicate with you as my buyer, I'm going to be communicating with your lender, your home inspector, all of the people that are wrapped up in the purchase. There's a lot of times that you won't even know that I'm heading things off before it even gets to you, because I can take care of it, and as your advocate, giving you that peace of mind.
Yeah, a lot goes on behind the scene, and I know that we've had folks that have tried to buy a home or have tried to sell their home, and like I say, they tried to do it, and some people do that, but a lot of people, 93% of all people, use an agent to sell a home or to purchase a home. And like I say, we've had people that call us saying, hey, we've tried this, but we need help. And you know what? It's our pleasure to help that.
Absolutely.
And so maybe that's you. Maybe, like we've talked about today, you are looking to purchase a home here in Stanton or Waynesboro or Lexington or Charlottesville, Harrisonburg, or anywhere here in our beautiful mountains and valleys of Virginia. So Leslie and I, we would be more than happy to help. And like we said at the beginning, our information is in the description down below, and we can help provide that peace of mind, the experience, the advocacy, the negotiation skills to help you to make sure that you're not just, I got my home, but that you're satisfied with the home that you got.
We've scratched the surface today. If you may have other questions for us, please put them in the comments down below, or give us a call, shoot us a text, send us that email. We'll be happy to answer those for you.
Exactly. So I guess that wraps it up for today, but until next time, we'll see you around town.